obviously the main drive of all this is the water, where you're gonna get water from the tree. In your discussions, and this will totally show my ignorance, but is there a thought about maybe any wells that might work? See that out west some, is that anything, I mean, I imagine that.
Yeah, groundwater, yeah, we did look at some options for groundwater. That's a bit invasive for us. And at the end of the day, we're so water rich with the situation we just talked about, that became our preference. We did talk with Huntsville, Alabama early on in this process, and that's actually where they started, was like a 9 million gallon a day groundwater, and they've moved to surface water as well. It's easier to get to, it's more manageable, and at the end of the day, just more available. So we did take a quick look at it, but.
Did you, in your study, did you decide over the 75 years that the plant's been in operation, how many days has it been down? Did you look into that? I mean, in terms of reliability, I imagine it's way up in the 99% level.
Yeah, we've never been down a day. We have been down periodically, but it's typically 12 hours-ish that we're down. As I said, we've got some redundancy built into some of the processes. It's just not that holistic. So our system storage, we've got just under a day's worth of storage in our tanks. We've got more storage now at the plant proper with our new high service clear wells, about 12 million gallons. So we've been pretty reliant on being able to move quickly and get things repaired. We've never been down for a day. It's been hours, and it's somewhat rare. So what typically gets us right now is just an electrical glitch. Will trip a control panel on a pump, and it'll take us an hour to get everything reset and get fired back up. And more extended outages, we've had a couple of pipes burst over there that's caused us some issues, and we've got our underground construction crews are pretty good about coming over there and get those repaired pretty quickly. So it's typically been capacity, but the world's changing around us, and our customers' expectations are higher, and it's time to begin looking at ways to build this redundancy into the plant.
Hey,
We've
when
been
the
pretty
plant
reliable.
was down, we actually had a storage tank, so the customers never felt the plant being down.
They typically won't, they won't feel that. Our storage tanks, they're there to provide water pressure on our system, to get it up hills and over valleys and whatnot. It's there to provide fire protection, and it's there to provide a buffer supply. So.
What is the current plan? If, now we don't have a redundancy, we don't have this extra intakes, what happens now currently? Do you purchase it from elsewhere, if we need water, or what? If something happened, I know you've never been down, it's never happened, but what is
Yeah, what we would do now, let's say there was a contamination. Okay, if it's a hydrocarbon, which typically floats, we are currently in the process of putting a boom system around our intake, so it will catch that. We take water from deep in the river, so you're not impacted if it's something that floats. If it's not something that floats, like the chemical in West Virginia, and it mixes into the water, we will sense that pretty early through our testing, and at the end of the day, our reaction right now would be we would shut our plant down. And we protect our plant, keep the chemical out of the plant. We'd rely on our storage as long as we could. If it extended a 24-hour period, let's say, then we're going to have to start talking about conservation measures, communication with our customers, and rationing water. We really don't have an ability to bring in high quantities of water from another source, and i.e., while we'd like to connect to some of our sister utilities and get a little more capability in that regard, helps this plan as well. So right now we've got an emergency water plan. It's very structured. We know what we do. It may not be pleasant, but we need to protect our plant in times of contamination. So if we let something in that plant and have to clean it up, it's not good.
Is there a plan for priority, say hospitals do more first?
Yeah. They're higher on our list. And St. Mary's is our canary. They're up on a bit of a hill, so we're constantly talking to them about pressure problems. We actually had scheduled participation to be in a drill with the regional hospitals in November that they just canceled because of their preparation for the Ebola stuff. So we deal with them quite frequently, and they are high priority for it.
John, I'd say first of all, appreciate all of the hard work that redundancy, I think in terms of duplicating systems, so that if one system's down for whatever reason, whether it's contamination or sabotage or some failure or something, you got another system that's gonna take care of it. Do you all feel with this, that's what we're doing, that we're achieving that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, it's on the same site, so you're basically, I hate to say we're building another plant, but we're interlacing the key components of another plant. And we're connecting those, we plan to connect those in a manner that will allow us to take any major component out of service and keep functioning.
Okay.
At the level, at the 40 million gallon a day level, which we projected our demand, at less than that, up and through the year 2035. So, yeah, it's all about redundancy. And one of the neat things about this whole plan is we had ample capacity. 62 million gallons is what our plant's rated at right now. That's as much as everybody else around us. So there was a study in 2012 that was completed, a water emergency plan study that was done that we participated in and 5 other of our neighbors participated in, talking about what would we do under certain scenarios. And so we know a lot about their plants, they know a lot about ours, and there's ample treatment in our region. And building treatment is your most expensive option. So really, this plan kind of leverages our existing capacity, which really helps us save the dollars that we're looking at, but we're also trying to stitch in that redundancy elements that we can use for operational efficiency and to keep water flowing no matter what.
Where do our surrounding water systems draw their water from? Tennessee River?
There's multiple sources that they pull it from. It depends, Norris, yeah, Mountain Hill.
Okay, so from different water sources.
Yeah.
And I assume do we have agreements with the surrounding systems that if they had some disaster that we would provide assistance?
We do.
Did those agreements say that that's assuming that we have the capacity to do that?
Yeah, but we do. Because our normal daily is 35 million gallons and we have 60 in the plant capacity. So the issue is they can't furnish to us. They're too small. So they can furnish small amounts, but they can't replicate our supply.
One of the challenges that we and they face is that by virtue of the way our systems are built, you start with large pipes at your plant and they get smaller as you go out. So at our perimeter, at our common perimeters where we adjoin these utility districts, typically they and we have our smallest pipes. So we can't push water deep into their system, and they don't have the pumping capacity or we don't have the pipe sizes at that point to be able for them to pump water deep into our systems either. So there's some physical limitations there that make it difficult regardless of the size of our respective plants.
And one of the few things we really haven't dealt with, just to be full disclosure here, is a regional disaster. So let's say there's a critical earthquake. We're all impacted, and that's really hard to prepare for. Now, the $4 million is to consider getting some big pipe across those boundaries and make it usable probably for both parties, or all parties. So we do deal with them. I mean, we have interconnects now, and this past February, we used those when our flows got high because of a few main breaks. We activated those interconnects and we took water from our neighbors. It was a great help in dealing with what we had to deal with. So we're accustomed to doing that with them.
Did you look at, maybe because they're smaller and small pipes, it would make sense of partnering with 1 or 2 neighbors to share the cost of a new facility where it's kind of more centrally located than just redundancy totally on our, in our area?
Yeah, I think that was really the basis of the 2012 study, was to get that started. And they talked about piping connections, and end of the day, I think some of our neighbors got a little ahead of us. So Hallsdale Powell had already built a new plant up on the us. First Utility District had already grown their existing plant and invested there. So I don't think that ever took root, that we might need to share those resources. I do think us deferring building another plant, for lack of a better word, and us investing in our current plant still leaves that door open for us at some point in the future. And I think the more we interconnect and the more we rely on each other, it's going to foster that relationship at some point. But right now, there's ample treatment capacity in our region. So we got 60 million, and all of them put together have 60 million. So there's 120 million of capacity existing in our community right now, and the demand's nowhere near that. So I don't think there's a need to build common plants, I guess you would say.
I don't have a question, but just a comment. I think this water is our greatest resource we have in this valley, and I'd like to continue to work in that effort to improve upon what we're doing, because if all fails, water is what we all rely on daily. And as alluded to TVA, what the great success they've done by utilizing the water system we have in the valley, it's definitely been a plus for energy and things for our boards over that. So I congratulate the team for the effort you put in there, and continue to do whatever you can to make it more successful. Use the complex.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Thanks, John. Susan, you up to your group? We appreciate your work with you.
That's all we know.
Okay. Mr. Presley, you want to talk to us?
Yes, I do.
Mind you, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, got a lot to cover. My name's Xavier Presley, 1134 Glade Drive, 37909. I tried to get in touch with Bill Johnson, the CEO, to explain ways of helping us customers. I bet you people don't know TVA is the nation's largest public provider and is under the U.S. government watch. That means I'm fighting a losing battle. Bigger than California, bigger than New York, bigger than Chicago, bigger than Texas. TVA and KUB is more important than all these states. Everywhere in America, TVA is more important. That means you all can scam us and treat us any kind of way you want to. The government will cover you. I've been in touch with the Department of Energy. What they did, passed me right back down to TVA. What TVA do, I'm going upstairs to Bill Johnson, try to get a meeting with him again. And let him laugh me out of his office. Say, yeah, let's get him out of here. We just keep doing what we're doing. That's all y'all are doing. So you ain't hurting us, you heard the whole city. I told you people, my bill was raised 3 months in a row. I got a pink slip on my door after I asked you for an extension. Now why should I get a pink slip after I asked you for an extension? And you still just gave it to me. Just like you all just taking me for granted that, hell, he gonna get up here, say it's 5 minutes, and we gonna keep putting the pink slip even when he asks for an extension. Yeah, I get $1,000 a month. My wife get her $15 from the military, and that's what we living on. If it take us that, we gonna continue to do it. And I continue to get up and get my 5 minutes in on you. I'm going to Bill Johnson after I leave here. And I'm gonna show him these same bills that I'm showing you all. I know he's not gonna let me in his office, and it's okay. But there is a God. Like that guy just said, that engineer guy said, disaster is gonna take place. Yes, it's gonna continue to take place. That thing up in Toledo, that was real. It's gonna happen here eventually. And you all gonna be scrambling for water and energy just like us regular customers. Your lights ain't gonna get cut on no faster than ours. We're gonna be in the same boat, and that's how the world is operating. I've been a chef for 25 years. The way I figured out how to get my bills paid now, see you all gonna raise my bill every month. I'm gonna go in these rich people's houses and cook for them, use their utilities, use all their equipment, and I'm gonna charge them double. That's gonna pay my bill from now on. So you can keep raising my bill every month. I got my way of getting you back. I had my windows open for the past 3 weeks because the weather's been good. I expect my bill to drop. But guess what? I bet you this next month, my water bill go up. So whatever you're saying, like Paul Chapman was saying, oh, it ain't nothing against you. Well, how come every month I complain and my bills go up? Like I say, when that bill come out tomorrow or the next day, I bet you if my electricity don't go up, my water go up. The first week of October, on Western Avenue office, 3 ladies working at the windows, and you got 5 windows operating, but you only got 3 ladies there, and you know we get our checks on the first of the month. And you all still just make us suffer by letting that line be so long out the door and don't want to give us help. You got people in there in wheelchairs, you got people with canes, you got people with some prosthetics and everything. And you all still won't get no help over there. Give us some help on the first of the month. That's all we asking for. And I called I called KUB, Mr. Office, Ms. Roach office, they sent me down all the way down, they put me on hold for about 12 minutes. Then they sent me to Paul Johnson, he trying to make an excuse saying, oh, we'll have to hire new help. Well, hire new help. It's just, all you're doing is putting some people to work. But take some people out of these offices and put them over there on the first of the week, or the first of the month. We ain't asking for too much. And with that lab, as long as that with the lab and the plant in Oak Ridge raising our bills, you are gonna continue to scam us like you're doing. That's all you are gonna do. I mean, I have to write this stuff down to show you all just how serious I am about this. And this stuff is real. You have to turn my power off fast as you can. Like I said, a month before last, you sent me a pink notice on a Saturday. And that to me, that tell me, by me getting up here telling you all about this, we'll cut his electricity off on the weekend, just so we'll know he got at least till we got next board meeting before he complains. I ain't asking for much. Let's be honest and try to help us out. I talked to one of your board members and told him, I said, I bet you it might be a raise. I can feel it in his voice on the phone how disappointed he was in hearing me say that. And he really tried to help me. But what happened? My bill went up again. I got the pink notice again. And you all gonna continue to do it. All I have to say is there is a God. And when he come, we all got an answer to that. And the only thing I try to do every day is be honest, be fair with people, treat people with respect. And if you all do that, we have a better city and a better world. But you all are just into it for the money. I'm going.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is there any other business from the board? I want to remind everybody, we talked about our 75th anniversary here earlier and nice recognition from the TVA. But we are celebrating our 75th anniversary, and one of the things that we're going to do in terms of celebrating is hosting a 75th anniversary luncheon for our current and former commissioners and staff. That will be on Monday, October 27th. Everybody should have received an invitation to that. It'll be at noon here in the boardroom. And we will not be discussing business at that time, but the luncheon is open to the public. And if there is no other business, then we will adjourn and continue with our lunch session, which is open to the public. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.